This is Pam.
Pam.
I'm in a beautiful part where it's 40 degrees. I'm freezing.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Oh, shut up.
Where you up in Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome aboard. And the
Yeah.
other one? One other speakerphone,
Pardon
please.
me? Oh,
What's that number, Chris? I can't read it.
941-254-4604.
Would that be Jan? Is it somebody
No,
muted?
she's up there.
Hello.
4604. Can you hear us?
oh, yes, I was indisposed.
Oh, okay. And who is this?
Jan.
Yeah, man.
Okay, Jan, thank you. Yeah, you're right.
Somebody rang the chimes.
Doorbell.
We expecting anybody else to come?
That's what we used to hear.
We don't have
before.
George or anybody, but we've got a group. That's all we need.
Okay.
You better, Joe?
Kids were all
How are you feeling, Joe?
service.
About the same way as he looks.
Yeah.
Are you old? Grab the bell.
Alright, let's get started. Workshop. There we go. All in order, alright.
Recording in progress.
Confirmation.
Confirmation, yes. This meeting and the subsequent meeting has both been posted.
Roll call. Or we don't need a roll
We
call.
don't roll call, but we have a quorum.
I
Should we
like
need
the way
it?
you're doing that. It's very nice.
Don't have any comments now. Save that for the meeting. Review of the minutes.
Minutes will be coming up with a report.
Regular meetings. September 18th. Financial matters. Anything we need to go over there?
No, Barbara's already submitted her certificates of report that will be included in the report with everybody on Friday's manager's report delivery.
Old business. Building repairs.
Okay, not much happening under the second floor walkway out renovation. We're awaiting the additional bids to seal and paint the tops. Met with 2 contractors today. Hopefully by the next meeting we'll have something, and the building committee will be able to look at it prior to the next board meeting.
Good. Operations manual.
We are progressing. We have 2 more committees to work on and make them less wordy, and then we will start on the directors, treasurers, all of those people.
Is that what the preparedness?
No, yeah, that's
Yeah.
one that I want to talk to you
Sure,
over.
anytime.
And what that will be is you'll have the disaster preparedness committee, and then this is the procedures that you would walk through. Or if you, when you retire, what we're looking at is when you retire, we're not going to have a manager who does what you do. In talking with a lot of the CAMs, they don't have a clue what goes on in real life. They don't know their statutes, rules, the condo rules. They're not willing to go the steps that you go. So what we're doing is we're looking at, after you retire, where would our operation manual be? So what will happen is the committees will have to work more and do more work and then report to the board of directors.
Unless I don't retire.
That's what I was just going to say. John, you cannot retire.
Save us.
Yeah,
No, I understand what you're saying, you know.
You're talking about a structural change.
no, we're not doing any structural changes. We're simplifying it. In some aspects, we're simplifying it so it's not as wordy. But in other things, John does so much. We are identifying that we will have to put more work on committees and less work on the manager. And the committees will have to report to the board of directors, sort of like the pool committee has a meeting every month, and then we report and tell everybody what we're doing or not doing, stuff like that. We will have to rely more on the committees to do more.
But shouldn't there still be
They've lost the audio.
We have?
Yeah.
Lost everything.
Your charger on?
Is that plugged in? Oh.
Oh, there it is.
Oh. Give us a chance. Somehow the plug got kicked out, and so we should be back on power. I think we're back up. I'm sorry. See, I don't do everything.
I think we just need to clone a young John.
Well, when you go to CAM meetings, I go to 2, sometimes 3 a month, and when you go to them and you start talking to some managers that work for companies, they don't know the statutes. There's so much that they don't know, or they're not willing when you say, how many hours do you put in a week? They're not willing to do what John does, and it's very, very scary.
But in the throes of a disaster, say, who is the one person that the committees are all connecting with, like the communication? That's what John's role basically is.
Right,
So have
right.
you removed that?
No,
Okay, because
No.
you can't get 15 board members all of a sudden scrambling.
no, we're not removing that at all. But there is steps that the committee does, like pre, mid, and
Recording
post,
in progress.
making sure
Sorry,
that
Chris.
things are done. But the board gets together with the manager and make sure that what we need to
We back up
accomplish
the vote?
prior to any disaster, that we're aware that's coming. I mean, there's certain things you can't do if a tornado touches down, then you go into what you do during or what you do ending. And yes, you work very close, hand in hand with the manager, because,
Okay, it almost sounded like.
no.
Okay.
No. So
I'm
anyway.
sure that what you have in mind, I can see where you're going with, but I want to make sure that we don't downgrade the requirements for our manager by.
No, absolutely not. No, we are not.
But are all these managers that you're talking about, are they on site, or are they just in an office downtown
They're
someplace?
in offices and they don't
That's the
come to
difference.
associations
Well-
more than 2, 3 times a week.
We won't have
And,
that.
and when you start saying, well, have you ever thought, it's like, They don't wanna put that effort through that John does, and it's very
So
scary.
are you writing the rules to see if we don't have an on-site property manager?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. But we're identifying, what the committee should be doing in cahoots with John.
Okay.
Like John says, okay, pool committee,
Here's
you
your
guys
checklist, go
this
do.
is your checklist, or this is what we're doing for the pools. Like, we stack the chairs up, we bungee cord all the chairs, we make sure that there's chemicals in, we lock the gate right prior to, the disaster going on.
Now, have you considered that the pool committee is physically capable of doing all that work?
No,
Because right now John delegates that.
John delegates, but the pool committee needs to be aware of what's going on. Landscape needs to be aware that the crew is going through and making sure that all the bags of roughage are picked up, so that if we would have flooding, you don't have debris flying everywhere.
Or maybe when we'll
Stuff
see
like
it,
that.
it'll be more.
So, anyway, sorry, didn't mean to ruffle people's feathers. It
No,
will be
no.
okay.
It'll be more
Education.
clarified when we see it.
That's right.
It's not sort of comparing apples to apples when you talk about a manager that's downtown Sarasota and one
Yeah,
that's here.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, very good, we'll work on that. Property insurance update. Not a whole lot, we had that meeting on Thursday.
It was Thursday.
Yeah. I have got some new information about Spring Lakes, right across the street. All theirs is all set for next year, and it's not pretty, but it makes ours look really, really good. Their due's going up $700
A year.
a quarter. Their insurance went from 70,000 to 150,000. That's 34 units. That means that right now they're paying $4,400 per unit. They also, in order
Steve,
to pay the
Steve,
insurance.
excuse me, this is Pam.
Yeah,
I got cut off. Who are you talking about?
neighbors,
Spring Lake.
Spring Lakes,
Ringling.
What?
The one right across from you,
Sorry.
Pam.
the one across from you, Pam.
Oh, wow.
Don't
Oh,
quote me on
no wonder
this.
they can't sell their unit.
Exactly. They also have to pay a $3,000 assessment due by January to cover the insurance, on top of their increase. So even if ours doubles, we're looking at, what, $288 at the highest maintenance increase on a 2,300 unit, down to $240
That's for the year though, right?
per unit.
Per quarter.
Per quarter.
Per quarter, right.
They're going up 700 per quarter, plus the assessment. So, the only thing I've thought about since we had the insurance meeting, because we were discussing dropping our coverage to 5 million and all that, I just don't think that that's, our lawyer says no. I tend to agree with him. I know that everybody got excited about it a little bit, thinking, oh, our insurance will stay the same, I won't have to pay any increases. And the people who are screaming the most about increases will be the first ones to turn on you if we're not properly insured, even if everybody voted on it. They'll be the first to scream, you know, why aren't you abiding by the law? And they'll come back looking to. So I don't want to be put in that position. I'm sure the rest of you don't either. But that's my 2 cents. Just, and I wanted to let you know what Spring Lakes is looking at. I don't know about Wildewood too, but I will find out first thing as soon as they know.
Is this one lawyer's opinion, or is this written in statutes, or?
It's written by law, state law.
State law, and then.
His opinion quoted the statute and our documents.
Okay, so there's no
There's no-
possibility
no.
of disagreement with
Well,
other lawyers?
Yeah, I have a comment about that, because he talked about somebody who was doing this and had an agreement that was written by their lawyers. And he offered,
It was an opinion written by their lawyer.
whatever it was.
No agreement.
Okay, I'm not,
I
listen, I'm the last one to wanna put us at risk. Okay? I get all that, but I think it would be interesting if we could find out how that worked and see whether there's any application to us or not.
I'll follow up.
Having just gone through and I'm going through issues with insurance potential, I'm inclined to be feeling more comfortable if we had that worst storm than sitting here worrying about whether or not we were gonna have our roof put back on again. So I'm leaning as you are now, Steve, in regards to the gamble.
The hopeful thing is the insurance guy said, you know, we're at the crest of the,
We've heard that before.
yeah, we've heard. I don't think he said that before. He said you
It
were,
was close to that, is what
yeah.
he said.
I think last year he said we're on this side of the crest. But I mean, you know, history does show that it does go up and down, and we can just have Shannon say a few prayers, hopefully we're going.
Hallelujah.
But anyway,
Duplexes are a little.
that was just my opening comments on the insurance.
What did you end up having, are we gonna talk about it in the budget?
Yeah, and we can talk about it in the budget, I guess.
For insurance?
No.
Okay, good. I have some comments too, so
Go
I'll
ahead.
throw them in then. I'll throw them in when we talk about it.
No, we'll look into it. I know you.
I don't want extra risk, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I know, I understand.
I'll find out, okay, because he did mention it was an association on the island, and it was that the attorney wrote something for them that they're using as the basis.
Yeah.
We'll see what it is.
I'd like to just.
And then I'd show it to our attorney and see what he says.
I'd just like to.
They'll probably say that they should get a new attorney.
But then we will have then discharged our duty.
Yes.
Yeah. Tom.
For March, would it be worthwhile at least getting it in our documents that if it's allowed by statutes, that it is an option.
Yeah, John said we have plenty of time to
The statute
vote to
the statute basically says adequate insurance, so the statute's in our favor.
Yes,
Because who's to determine that what is what is adequate? But the documents,
yes, and that's what I'm saying, that
you
it,
can't amend the documents by a vote of owners only. All mortgagees have to
holders.
agree.
Oh,
So it's
Yep.
very circumference.
almost impossible.
Yeah. We tried that when I managed Pine Bay Forest up here, and there was 120 owners there, and 119 agreed, and one didn't. Knocked the whole thing out. $5,000 it cost them, did everything.
We also had a
So you have to have
problem here.
100% of the owners and 100% of the mortgagees agreed if you make a change in insurance requirements.
Same thing goes for the banks too, isn't
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
anything else on insurance? Parking and driveway, we can see.
All right, we'll have the dates for
it?
you
When
at
do we
the
vote on
meeting.
that? When do we as a board vote on the insurance?
When you do the budget.
Okay, that'll be.
I mean, the budget's going to contain certain figures, and you say put it in, put it out. But anyway, we'll have the dates of the parking for you on Monday at the meeting.
So our next vote is gonna be based on the budget, not the insurance, it's the
Right.
whole thing, the package.
Your vote at this meeting will be to accept a budget for mailing to the owners for approval in November. Okay? It's very specific.
Okay. New business, communication, we have all that, right? Review, approve, mailings to the owners. yeah.
In your packet, you have copies of not only the budget as proposed, you also have all the reserve documentation for this year as deliberated and calculated by the committee, budget committee.
Was this based on 100% increase in insurance?
This is based on a 100% increase in insurance.
So I thought after we met with the insurer, at the end of the meeting, you said that he mentioned you could go 70%.
Well, that's what he's saying now, what is he gonna say come March?
He told me 40% when I first called him up, and I said, we're starting budget. He said, oh, you gotta put 40% in. And then I talked to the people on the West Coast, and they said, or the East Coast rather, and they said, you better put anywhere from 50 to 150 in, and that's when we started talking about the 100%. And then now Joe all of a sudden is talking 70.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah,
knows.
the
So
same
we just found
insurance
out that they got
company.
100% over 120.
And that's with our same insurance company.
ACIC is the one who just increased Spring
I
Lake.
mean, we
So
can
we're gonna
always,
keep it at 100%?
yeah, let's keep it at 100,
Okay.
and
We can
and
always-
we can always change it, we can always drop maintenance fees if
Okay.
we don't.
Yeah, that's the good part about this, is that last year, we found out the rate was so high, we increased the last 2 quarters.
Yeah.
If some kind of miracle happens and we're too high, it comes in at 65% instead of 100, we can get back the last 2 quarters just as easily as take away,
Right,
you know.
right. I agree.
John, I have a question back on the ceiling. You said we'll have information schedule. Is that gonna be done in October, or is it gonna get
It's
quick?
probably gonna run into a good portion of November.
So start in October,
Yeah.
take about a
We're
month?
hoping for the last 10 days of the month.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Discuss, security cameras.
Yeah, this is kind of a sticky wicket. The boxes that contain the camera systems for the security are in a deteriorating position, and it's causing erosion and rusting of the various components inside the boxes. And currently, only one of the 7 camera stations are working.
Oh, gosh.
And to replace the boxes, the minimum cost is about $8,000. Now, associated with this is that we pay almost $550 a month for the IP addresses for each one of these cameras. And the question is the benefit of the camera system, when operating, up to the amount of expense it needs to be regenerated, I guess, and the ongoing $500 a month for the IP addresses.
Is that per address?
Yeah, no,
For all-
for camera,
okay.
yeah.
For the camera system.
Yeah, we have four IPs that come in.
$6,000, $7,000 a year for the IP
Well,
address.
what does the security committee say? Is it, do we reduce the
We'd love
camera?
to spend all of our
The
money.
security committee is ready to spend the money.
Well, I'm a little, are they gonna put in boxes that are gonna corrode again in how many years? I mean, we don't have them
No,
in that long.
no, they would not.
No, we're not.
No, they would not. I mean,
Plastic.
Well, who put in these boxes that,
security committee made a deal with the,
Have we lost
With
any
somebody.
other equipment, or is it?
well, what's happening is that the routers and everything in there are corroding and they're not functioning. I mean, we're really now sending money to Spectrum at the rate of $500 a month and getting no benefit whatsoever.
so we don't have a maintenance contract with somebody to.
No,
put the
no,
cameras?
there was one in the beginning,
Okay,
and then it ran out, and then we stayed with the Sarasota people. They kind of fell apart, they had a situation, and then we brought somebody else in, and they seemed to be much better, but we're in a position now, you gotta spend the money or forget about what you're getting to the what benefits it would be. I mean, you can always leave the poles and the cameras up, nobody will know whether they're.
Yeah, the cameras are all there.
Yeah.
And we really haven't, the cameras haven't
Yeah.
produced anything for us in the time we've had them.
so we're talking about, what's a total cost estimate? Because.
Well, we got two bids to replace the boxes and all the wiring and all that kind of stuff.
That's
One is
included.
from a company called Red One, that's about $8,400. The other one is another company that they want almost $11,500.
So is that we can use reserve money for?
You
Is
can
this
use reserve money
there?
for it, yes.
So this is to replace the boxes
This is to replace the
and bring the
boxes,
system up to.
Back up to bid, yes.
Oh, okay. So we
John,
don't
what-
have, we don't have cameras down or anything like that?
We have cameras down right
But I
now.
mean, are they gonna have to replace them? We're gonna end up with more?
Cameras are,
hardware
the cameras are, it's just the support
I
systems
see.
that need to be upgraded. The cameras are all in good shape.
Should we, are you having, you said there's 8 cameras, there's 8 stations?
Well, there's, no,
I
there's,
thought I heard 8 or something.
there's 5 stations including the office. And 10
It's
storage.
still worth keeping all 5? I mean, are we getting our bang? I know it's hard to say when it's security.
It's very hard to say. I mean, is it good for peace of mind? Yeah. Has there been any, the only benefit I can recall, even when we had the speaker around and everything else, we never were able to find pictures of him, but we have seen a couple vandals, and we did see one of our residents run over a bunch of plants and things like that, and we charged her $800 to fix it, and that's,
You know, I'd like to
over
see the.
5 or 6 years, it's not that much of a return, quite
I'd
frankly.
like to see a little more study of what we've got here. I frankly like the cameras, it's nothing more than peace of mind.
Well, they can be
And
there.
Many of
think
my
they still have to run.
constituents say that, but I'd like to know exactly what we're looking at as what we get, cost us this, and if we don't have it, what would we be doing? It seems to me a
$8,500
committee that needs to sit down and put together some kind of a proposition for us. And, you know, we're gonna spend $16,000 and we got 10 years usage, that's better than $16,000. And we gotta look at it again next year, and we need to have some kind of reserve put in place, so.
Okay, well, how about I get the committee to, it's basically been Jim Munson, okay? And he calls me every morning, and we talk about what happens the night before, and there have been things, but mostly it's to deal with the patrol versus the camera system. Okay,
Is he actually monitor the cameras on?
100% of the time.
Oh, yeah.
That's his job.
He's got nothing else to do.
And you said he files reports in the office.
I'm sorry?
He files a report?
No, they
In
file,
the office?
the roving guards file very, very good reports, the best group we've ever had. I mean, they send pictures of what's going on here, and they do everything. But this is, you got 2 issues. You've got the camera system standalone from the It just so happened the same company dealt with both. But the camera system is separate from the guard service and the roving guard and the pictures and the, you know, stuff like that.
And it's an $8,400 number we're looking at. An $8,400 number we're looking at.
Yeah, a minimum to bring it up to speed, yes. That would be changing the boxes and rewiring it all, including labor.
John, I got a question though. If you change the boxes out, how are you gonna prevent rust and moisture and stuff inside the boxes, even though they're plastic? I mean, this is Florida, everything rusts if it's metal. I mean, it's a given.
I would like to think that, however, we were, when we bought them, yeah, when we bought them, it looked like the best system that could be bought. And they talked about adding fans in it, and they talked about other things. So it can be, the right type of box has the right type of ventilation, and they actually come with fans for heat exhaustion. So, I mean, what we have now is just a box that sits there with stuff inside of it.
Right.
And it gathers moisture.
And it sweats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the boxes that would be replacing would be the type you would, it'd be beneficial to the system.
And routers and equipment like that are very sensitive to
Yeah.
high temperatures,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. So right now, we know all of Spectrum's equipment is working inside the boxes, but because of what's deteriorated in the leads between the various items that takes it to run, our system isn't, other than we can watch Cynthia if we want, or maybe the tennis court, and that's about it.
I think it's gonna be more than just 400, because they're not gonna really know if it's gonna work
Well,
once they go in there.
I've seen the quotes, and you know, and then I've talked to people. We're through dealing with Sarasota security. That didn't work out well.
Is that new box gonna contain a fan or?
Yeah.
And for, that would also keep it
Well,
dry?
here again, we would not be doing anything here. We're not to prove anything. I think that what Barbara and everybody else has suggested is, and Merrick or whoever, I'll get to bring a package to you. I put it on the now because it's an issue that we're talking about budget and we're looking at things like that. And, you know, you could say, all right, let's think about it for the year and pull out the IP addresses for a year and make a deliberation. But then you wouldn't have the money in 6 months if you wanted to put it back together again. So it's on there because it is a budget impact to the budget. Excuse me.
Does our insurance change, because we have, quote, security and security cameras and things, does it change our insurance?
I wish I could say it was, but the property insurance has nothing impact with the cameras. And the general liability, which to me would seem to have an impact because of our old pipe problems and the slip and falls, that's gone up to double, so it hasn't impacted it at all.
John, in the reserve budget, so what we have in here is for year 2026, security camera system for $20,000. Well, is that different than what we're talking about, or?
That is what we've been carrying since we put it on. So this is somewhat different. That would change if we expended this $8,000 now.
Right.
We would probably knock that down the street for another 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
So we're talking about
We
reserve
actually have it
money.
in here a
Yes,
couple of times.
we're talking about reserve money. But we're also talking about operating money when you take a look at the line item under security, and you'll see that 30 links are $3,600 a year. Actually,
That's just
was a
paying
little
for
high
the
when I said
IP.
500. No, it's not quite as bad as it was. Okay.
That's just paying for the IP address.
Yeah.
Do we have security listed twice, $20,000 in year 2026 and $20,000 in year 2027. I don't think that's right, because that's 40,000 and we
Well-
didn't even have that scheduled to collect 40,000.
I'll take a look at that.
Okay.
We'll bop it out. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Managers report, committee reports.
I got another question that's not on here, but I think I've been hearing all this stuff about garbage pickup. And I just, I don't know what's going on, I just asking a question.
A fumble of the ball by them.
Is that what it is?
About 7, 8 years ago, we had nothing but trouble. New people, you name it. And this has been going on fine. But all of a sudden, catch-22, they had a truck fire, and that was the first week. And then the second week, who knows? They just didn't come. And we've been dealing with the head of Public Works. It seems to be in order right now, but it's the first real issue we've had in 4 or 5 years. And it was primarily due to vehicles and new people on missing clusters.
Gotcha.
I mean, Pinehurst was getting picked up, Lakeside wasn't. Lakeside was getting picked up, Sherwood wasn't.
They're changing drivers?
We haven't, but there was a period, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got one driver in here who knows everything back of his hand, you know, but he's not here all the time.
He must be the Friday driver.
He's a very, very, very nice gentleman.
They don't like your area.
I guess. Hey, I gave you guys a bid of $1,000 a month for me to, you know, patrol it all.
I had Cynthia send them a map, you know, with the cluster, and literally told them when she sent it, every single alphabet letter, there's a dumpster there. You might drive over past this end, you can't see it. It's on the other end, but I told her to tell them. So that was last week.
Q is full. We got a lot of garbage. Q is full as of last night, and it's Tuesday.
Well,
What are
today's
you
pickup
guys
day.
doing over
Today's
Right,
pickup day, yeah.
right. So
Oh, it's
when do I call you all?
We haven't, I've never seen my dumpster full, ever. And you guys are doing it all the time. Is it
Yeah.
because you have more units in your area?
I just got more trash.
Everybody's recycling.
Well, I don't
Your
know
carbon
why.
footprint is just outrageous.
You know, we've even had trouble picking up construction dumpsters and the recycling. I mean, they've had it on, for 12 years, they've known we lock at 3:30. All of a sudden, they start coming at 4:30. And I said, what's going on? Well, the driver wants to change the route so he can't get till before 4:30. Well, we were all done. And we haven't had an issue. I mean, it's just weird things came up.
Okay.
Oh, and the little palm tree, I get an email from them, little palm tree, all the time, the little tiny one, where the dumpster is back next to a tree. It's like, do I have to come over and push it out in the middle of the street for you guys? You know.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to take it out, the driver gets out and pulls them out and loads them.
Right, well, because of where it's at, it's really hidden back by the wall. She says, it's not being seen or something. And I said, don't make me come over and push it out in the middle of the road. Part of my $1,000 a month.
Anything, Shannon?
Revealing my ignorance once again, where is our reserve fund in here? What's the sum of it?
We are, you'll see the last documents after the operating budget and after the splits. You'll see the reserve requirement, which is not the final one, John. It's about three before that.
Looks like
And it
this.
is our calculation of what we need for this year and subsequent years, okay? A little bit further forward, John, a little bit further forward. One more. There you go. Now, that's the calculation that the state requires that the review. And that's what we're collecting for. We've been collecting $500 and some odd thousand for the last 10 years. Things have escalated, and rightfully so. But thank goodness to you all on the board, to Barbara, John, and everybody else who participated. We're able to increase the monies going to the reserve by gaining this interest. So this year we're going to contribute $567,000 to the fund. Primarily, Barbara thinks it'll probably even be $70,000. But so we want to be conservative. So we're able to put more money into the reserve, take care of inflation in any areas that come in. So, and those documentations, I mean, that calculation is there. and then subsequently you'll see the next page where what the money of the year we're gonna spend it, and then on the very last page, it shows you a 20-year cash flow of, you're starting with basically $1.9 million this year. At the end of this year, you'll have about $1.9 million in the bank, and you'll have 20 years of operating with roof replacement and everything else that we're gonna do, and end up with close to $2 million in the bank. So it's pretty well calculated.
John, the top of the estimated balance column, it still says 12/31/2004.
Yeah, I meant to change it.
2023?
Yeah, I
Okay.
meant to change it and I didn't. So,
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Well, that looks good. If we don't get
Well, we
hit with
haven't
another issue.
changed the reserve, what we're collecting from unit owners for the reserve in close to 5 years. It's a lot. And
We keep putting
that would pay,
$50,000 a year.
and you would be playing catch up when you're gonna start hitting the big ticket items
Yeah.
5 so years from now, roads and roofs, especially the roofs.
Well, see, we got one more chance to do the covering, which, you know, the liquid covering to the roof. And you'll not be able to do that again. So the big thing will be, I guess, what is it, about 15 years or so?
Yeah.
Is when the roofs will have to be totally redone. And you're looking at over $5 million at least. You were the last time I got a bid.
Right, and if we don't start collecting, making sure, collecting now incrementally each year, by the time we get to 15 years down the road to have that money. So the interest is helping, and we were able to not raise the amount we're collecting from unit owners, at least for this year and next year. And we'll see where it goes. If interest rates stay good.
We're on the right side of it. That's the
Yeah.
important.
Anything else, anybody?
Yep, I got a couple of them. Two questions. I've been contacted, and I forwarded to John, a company from the East Coast that wants to come and talk to us about fiber optic to replace spectrum. We're 2 years out from that contract. Do we want to entertain someone to come and talk with us, John?
What's the name of the company?
My email drops after 2 weeks, so I can't tell you. I don't know, I didn't.
Also, Hotmail, or Hotwire has also in their fiber optic.
So, they claim if we're gonna make a change like that, it's gonna take 2 years to get it done. So that's why this company reached out and said, we'd like to come and talk to you about a proposal. Do we wanna start doing that yet, or not?
I think it would benefit to at least take a look at it. We had a company, as you recall, before this, time flies, holy cow, it's 5.5 years ago, but we were very seriously talking about fiber optics at that time. And not to be negative, but the big problem was service seemed to be an issue by anybody that was in the business, number one, but number two, the installation necessary is going to be so invasive to the units that at the end everybody kind of threw their hands up. That doesn't mean there aren't new technologies that can be by now. Why shouldn't we look at it? It doesn't cost us.
Is there any thought that maybe our friends at Spectrum would be doing that for us?
I didn't know we had friends called Spectrum.
The salesman's always your friend.
Yeah.
Plus, John, like, really what I'm seeing even amongst friends and family all over is they're dropping their cable and they're doing streaming. And if we stick with a Spectrum contract that buries internet in with cable, you know, their fees are higher because they don't have the option to drop cable. It doesn't benefit them right now.
No, I think every should be explored because we've got one more year on this contract. And, you know, they'll be interested to come forward with some. Don't forget they gave us that $125,000 last time, you know. So we should look at everything.
Okay.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Right, right. Second thing, at the IT committee meeting that we had last week, we talked about the issues at the Methodist Church with the internet connection and being able to keep the internet up for the Zoom. And so I'm wondering if we would entertain or consider changing locations for our meeting outside of this office. And I would offer the Kirkwood Presbyterian Church, which is another mile down Cortez, across the street from RJ Gators. We have a fellowship building in the back that's fully wired with internet, with speakers. We wouldn't even have to take our sound system.
Wow.
Because it's all wired for microphones and all set up. Actually, I was there earlier this morning with my wife because she was holding a meeting there. And it works well. It's just an hour. It's a mile further down the road. The fee that we're paying to Emmanuel right now for using that building would be acceptable.
I was thinking you might want to pay us to come out.
Someone in there is a deal.
I just wanted to put it on the table that, as another option.
No, I think that's a very good option.
I
I mean, we have had issues with the electronics and everything like that, and a mile down the road?
Not even a mile, really.
No, and,
Across from Gators.
yeah.
And it's not the building in the front by the road, it's the building in the back. Big parking lot back there, and like I said, it's all wired.
No, I think,
no
problem.
we have no, we don't have a contract with, and there was gonna be an issue this year because they're doing the AA thing on Mondays now, and there was a little bit of confluence with the meeting or confusion, even though we've been going there all that year. They wanted us to move, and I said, no, we're not gonna move, so you know, we just don't have to go.
Do we pay them even
Yes.
if we don't show up?
No. No, we only pay them when we use the
So we
facility.
could even test it, we could even do one.
Yeah, and that's what I would
Yeah.
suggest, that we get together with Chris and I forgot the other guy's name, who was with us last week.
Andrew
Andrew.
Penny.
And go down and do some testing. You know, there's a soundboard there. We might have to bring our microphones, but we wouldn't have to bring the speakers or any of that other stuff, because the speakers are in the ceiling.
Easy setup.
Yeah.
So nice.
Well, this meeting was scheduled for here, and in November is the big meeting, and when you have the budget, and
Right.
the majority of the people come to that in the annual meeting, so there's no
willing to work
question,
on
that'd
it.
be great, yeah.
Trying to get that set up if you'd like to have an option to go somewhere else.
What do we pay the Methodists to use the facility now?
It's $75, right?
75.
75 a month. And our church would
So
accept the
you're
same.
50.
Per month or per meeting?
Per meeting, anytime there's a meeting.
Remember, this is at a church, you could rat in hell for that.
How is the scheduling, like, are they don't have?
We don't have anything going on
Phone
Mondays.
notice those times, okay.
Well, the big thing would be, you know, the third Mondays at 2 o'clock,
Right. And
other than the annual meeting, which is 1 o'clock.
Right, there's nothing going on Mondays in our building right now.
Try it.
So should we meet there this next time, try it out for the annual meeting, or the
I don't, can you get it ready by Monday?
Probably not.
Probably not. That's
Getting people to know where it
No.
is.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
I have a suggestion.
Yes?
This is Pam, I have a suggestion. Maybe we could practice run our next workshop there. Would that do it?
We could do that,
Sure.
That's on Tuesday at 10, we have to see if it's there.
yeah.
Yeah, but I
There's
mean,
nobody
we
in
could
that
test
building.
out the equipment and see if it works.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know, and then we'd almost have
You
a
guys will probably go
one
over
meeting.
and test it before that, eh?
Yeah,
you got it.
we would want to.
Yeah, they'd want to test it anyways.
Sounds like a plan.
There's multiple televisions in the building, so you can have even, I don't know if we can connect more than one to a computer, but my wife's using Zoom there this morning, and the audio system and everything, you know, the internet is strong in that building.
Why don't you guys take a test run at it if we want to do the workshop there as another test? Or if you
Okay.
feel it's just ready, we'll
Yeah,
just
you
do
wouldn't-
the meeting.
You wouldn't want to have the budget meeting there without a test beforehand.
Right.
In case anything went wrong.
Right.
Excuse me.
Fine. You're all right.
Okay, we'll test it out for another option.
Anything else? Anybody? Oh. hang on.
We're on director's comments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
fine.
So, I was able to talk to 10 residents in my cluster this week and just sort of bounce some of the insurance information off of them. and I thought it would be helpful to share with the group. Every single person is incredibly willing to cut the wind policy to save on some of the fees. There were a few people that asked about different levels of coverage, but every single person wanted to cut some of the coverage because they felt that since our deductible is so high and we've never had to file a claim, that for the next year the chances of us racking up 9.3 million, to even meet our deductible was pretty slim, and felt that they'd rather save themselves the money than chip it into a insurance company that may not even pay out, since their track record is a little spotty.
Yeah.
So anyways, I didn't realize that changing the documents would require 100% vote, and that definitely does prove to be an obstacle, but I did still think it was important for me to share their thoughts with everyone.
We may have misunderstood you. It doesn't take 100% of the vote. It takes 100% of the mortgagees. In other words, the people can have a 51 to 50%, or 51 to 49 vote, but you still have to have all the mortgagees agree.
And is that just the owners that have mortgages, or is that like the
It's
banks
not the owners,
that have
it's
the
lien
mortgage?
holders.
It's the owners,
The lien
the lien holders. In other words, you have to go to First National Bank, and just to get to the right people, and then they send you, like I said, I went through it. They'll send you back and say, yes, we're gonna refer this to our attorney. Send us $500 for the fees. I mean, there's just 100 reasons why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And why they have to give up their right to govern your insurance, and they don't want to do it. So
But they did with the flood insurance.
No.
We did this process.
we just did it.
We didn't get anybody that said no.
We didn't ask. Excuse me.
This is recorded meeting.
I'm sorry. Did I say that?
That was the attorney's fault, because they did the cut and paste.
Absolutely right, but
Yeah.
when we had to send out all
Yeah.
these mortgage holders, we didn't get any problems. We didn't get anybody that said no.
Well, when I can remember the conversation I had with Dan Lobeck at that time. He said, "Well, you didn't win." And I said, "Yeah, but who's to say?" And he says, "Well, you're right. Do what you think best." And we just didn't buy it. And no one has come and challenged it.
Right.
It's like this 1% or the 10 million deductible. Who's ever going to know what you do? I mean, other than the fact you know yourself, you're overdoing this act and you're leaving exposure. But the state's never going to come in and say you're violating your docs, because they don't know it. But some owner might, because we would be.
But in that case, it was not like,
That's it.
I don't think you
it was not like we
turned
didn't
your phone, somebody's
have,
saying hello.
Oh, sorry. Hello? No. Okay. Thank you.
I mean, in that case, it wasn't like the mortgages were already set. It's just that this was a typo or something screwed up by the lawyer on the paperwork.
But it still was in there.
We never agreed to do that change. Nobody agreed to do that
Yes, we
change.
did.
with
Yes,
the
we
lawyer.
did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but by
Now, what happened, Barbara? What happened was the fact that the attorney inadvertently left it in, okay? Or put it in,
Cut and paste.
cut and paste. And the owners adopted it as written. So-
without knowing any better.
Without realizing what
Right.
they were having
That's
in
what
there.
I'm saying.
And so, yeah, you're right, Chris, we went through everything, but we never did get everybody's approval.
And it seems like most of the time, the banks just don't respond,
Right,
which means we're okay.
well, that's the
Has the
thing.
statute of limitation run out on that? Too late, can't sue us anymore.
Okay.
That 2 years is up.
So that's technically a violation of our documents if we don't have flood insurance, right? So like, is
Well, our
this much
documents have been
different?
changed and nobody's challenged it. so-
We're not in a flood zone, so.
25 feet against.
But you know,
we're in the
you can make a
window,
point,
yeah.
you can make a point for your argument, okay?
The newsletter is complete and should be on
No.
the website as soon as Chris is
Good
done
point.
with this meeting.
And I'll email it to everybody.
That's
And
great.
you earned $600.
$665, just $20 less than last year. Yep, so it's
That's
good.
excellent.
Tammy,
Congratulations.
There's a
I'm
very
sorry,
nice
that's-
page in there about veterans, so I hope you'll enjoy it.
I think you need to talk to your constituency and tell them that there are these things and we're doing everything we can to bring the thing down within legal area. And let them understand these things, because otherwise everybody says, why the hell should we pay for this insurance? I mean, it's a logical reason, it's a logical statement to say we're totally overinsured and it costs us too much money.
But it's like Steve said,
You know,
If
those would
something
be the
does
first ones
happen.
that come out of the woodwork if we got wiped out and say, well, why weren't we insured?
So couldn't they say the same thing about flood? That's all I'm saying. If we're not paying for one, then what's the problem with paying
They
for
could,
the other?
they could. Well, that's how we even found it. Somebody come in to buy and said, where's my flood policy certificate? We said, well, we don't buy flood. One person. That's how the whole thing got opened up, and he says, yeah, I want mine, because there it is in the documents. And it was there.
He didn't buy in here then, did he?
Pardon?
He didn't buy in here.
No, he never did buy it.
Right.
Just stirred up the pot.
I think the thing that I wanna see, just like we were talking about with some of these other things, is that we've looked at every option, and that option is not an acceptable option, and that's what Marv is talking about here, and that's what I was, that's all the things that we're looking at. If it's no, we just can't make another option, and I think, in my estimation, we've looked at every way to bring this down that we can possibly go to without getting into an area which is legally not the place we want to be. So I think when I talk to my people, their big thing is, well, did you try this? Did you try this? Did you do this? And I don't think there's anything we have not investigated. I can't see anything anyway. And looks like they've blocked the door as far as our options are concerned.
And I don't think we want to be in a position to be sued as an organization or as individual board members.
Yeah.
And I
We
would,
got opportunists
I
out
would,
there.
I would really wonder if we were to be sued and we knowingly made that change, our officers and directors insurance probably wouldn't protect us.
Well, you are indemnified by the Articles of Incorporation, but still, you're right. You have made
Could still be a
a...
personal liability.
So what would it cost to generate new documents with all the changes that we've incorporated the last few years into a new set of documents?
Last time I saw a general review, and yours were done in 2011.
Right.
It'd be about $4,000 or $5,000, but it's the approval process of any changes in the insurance that is the sticky wicket, because your owners can approve it, but if you would change, the mortgagee's still gonna have to agree to it.
It's just gonna take one mortgage company to say no.
It's not the documents, it's the liens.
It's the names.
But
That's good to know.
we're still looking at it.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize that
And
part
this
about
bill
the
doesn't come
fees.
out, or this bill isn't paid until March, I think you said, or
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
I've got the dates here. And we really don't have the first anything from the insurance companies themselves.
Until February's.
Yeah,
That was,
so-
last year was 5 days before.
You know, our guy said 70% this last meeting, but yet ACIC, the same company, right across the street, was just over 100%. But our size is still helping us, I think.
Steve, what was their numbers over there? It went from what to what?
It went from 70 to 150,000 on the insurance. Their dues went from 1,900 and something to 2,683.
So they were prepared ahead of time for like
No, they
Years
haven't
past?
put the $3,000 assessment to every unit. It has to be paid by January, so they
But
can pay
in
the
years
insurance.
past, we have worked hard, or our budget committee has worked hard every year to keep up and,
Yeah, you
and
bet.
apologize,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Yeah,
for why we're doing this.
yeah.
Did other associations, you
Well,
know,
they just,
Probably not to the extent.
not to the extent, yeah.
Another suggestion I would have is that that meeting with the insurance guy was recorded, and it's on, is it on this?
Absolutely.
It's there. So people that have these questions really should be urged to go to that meeting and hear what he had to say themselves.
I relayed
I-
a lot of it to them.
Well,
thought
that's
he
not
was
the same
excellent.
thing, I appreciate that,
Yeah.
because now they're expecting answers from you and you're going back and forth or whatever. But, you know, hey, guy, let's go watch, we'll go watch this meeting and see what, listen to the insurance guy, and you'll understand what we're facing.
That's also why I say, where were you when we had the meeting too, which just
Well,
bugs me, but
I'm not gonna-
that's,
I'm not gonna go down that road.
getting-
No, it's,
At
But
least
it's
it's
wide
on-
open, and everything was there.
Yeah.
He did give a good presentation. He answered questions. I thought it was very informative.
any other comments?
Yeah, my interruption
No.
was the fiber company. It's Blue Stream Fiber. And they're
That's
based,
different from the
they're based in Jacksonville. He was calling to schedule an appointment, John. I said, well, you're calling at a really good time. So yes, it's Blue Stream Fiber is the name of the company.
4 years ago, it was FiberCon, I think.
Yeah,
Out of Miami.
Miami from Fort Lauderdale, Miami, yeah.
This guy's
Yeah,
from
Coral
Jacksonville.
Gables, actually.
This guy is from Jacksonville.
And the
Right,
one,
see.
and the one that Denny had talked to, and then I had also talked to, not knowing that Denny had, that was Hot Wire, and they're out of Sarasota.
The good news is that fiber's been laid right across Cortez. It was, what, 7, 8 years ago when they did that, so the pickup is fairly close. It's just how it gets to the units and, you know,
Whose fiber is that? Is that Manatee County did that, or?
it's there.
Okay.
I mean, that's the other company, the FiberCon.
I don't know if they have
is that.
franchise that, but
Yeah,
that's a particular
it's
company's
probably
wire.
somebody that's invested in it and everybody buys from them or something. Who knows?
So it would be a new point if these
Just like
two
the towers.
companies-
Was
Cell towers.
a Frontier that maybe put that fiber in along
It might
Cortez?
have been.
Who
I
knows?
doubt it.
I'll tell you that there's an interesting, I don't know if it's an opportunity down here or not, but where I was located in the Finger Lakes in New York for the past 3 summers, we were able to connect with a fiber company that's totally wireless. There are no wires. There is no having to drill through into all of the units.
Really? That may
It's-
be the way to go.
It's all done with a little box that's about the size of this piece of paper that has to be attached on the outside of the box, and then there's a wire that runs from that through a window. And all the signals are bounced from telephone poles from little boxes that are like this. And so I don't even know where,
Fascinating, yeah.
I don't know, and my trailer just had a little box on the back of it like that. I had all the local TV stations, all the streaming I wanted, the internet, the whole thing. It was costing me $100 a month.
That's what Verizon's doing now too.
Totally wireless?
It's wireless.
Yeah.
And you don't,
It was, I was skeptical when they first came and offered it. We had to have 10 people at the campground sign up for them to put it in, and we managed to get 10 people that were willing to do it. And it was fabulous. We never had, I had Dish before that, and every time it rained, they didn't have any television.
Well, $100 a month you're paying right now, cable roughly 61.
So this was both, and I only had to pay it when I was there. I could turn it off when I wasn't. But again, that's just something that I've experienced in the last 3 years.
Well, I think that the future is limitless.
Yeah.
It's just when you make the right spot, or you know.
Right, I don't know if Paul, our foliage would cause a problem, with trying to bounce a wireless signal around on the outside of the buildings. But it was pretty cool. We liked it. We certainly loved it much better
You get
than
a wireless
Dish.
signal through now with your phone.
True, it's true.
I think we should expect Spectrum to start doing stuff like that.
I would think they would, or they're gonna lose business, I would think, yeah. Maybe they have a fiber option or a wireless option.
They talked about fiber when we discussed the contract.
Yeah,
Well, we should hear them all out.
yeah.
We need to know this stuff so we can talk to Spectrum.
I don't think
We gotta-
with 2 years to go, or a
Yeah.
year and a half to go, it's never too soon to really look into this thing.
Absolutely.
Rattle the cage, right?
I think if I recall, we started well a
November.
year before the end of our last contract, well before, right?
And we hired a good consultant.
Yeah.
And then they hired him back.
Did they really?
Yeah, now he works. He's on the dark side now.
But he was only negotiating with Spectrum. I don't know that he was looking into other
He looked everything for, he helped us.
providers, was he?
Doug Kelly had quite a history. He was with everybody that was here in the very high positions of management. And finally, at the very end, I guess, got too big for what they wanted here. And so that's when he went on his own. And I guess he brought in 5 or 6 contracts. And it cost them $100,000 here and there, and they decided to bring him back to work.
Okay, anything else? Anybody? Anybody on Zoom? Phone?
Now, don't forget that this budget
Well, I'm
thing.
good.
Oh, go ahead, yes. Go ahead,
No, I
Pam.
just said I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm good.
Just remember that this budget thing now is up for discussion at the meeting. It's not gonna be adopted, it's just for the, sent out to the mailing. So if you have any thoughts about how you want to, couch any cover letters or anything of that nature, which I've written for you the last few years, let us know at that meeting, because the budget will not be adopted till November.
Does anybody have negative to this budget?
Yeah.
Were you talking about us or?
I'm talking about us,
Oh,
because we're bringing it up
No, this is-
for a vote on Monday, right?
You're
Oh, yeah.
accepting it
Well,
for mailing to the owners.
well,
She was
to
in this
accept
morning.
it, that's what I mean.
You're not adopting the budget until November.
okay.
Okay, but we're accepting it to send it out,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, now's the one you want to speak if you got an issue with it before it goes out.
I mean, now would be a good time to bring up issues if there are any issues. That's what a workshop is.
It certainly sounds as though we're over the barrel in terms of property insurance.
Exactly.
Well, you may note at the bottom of one of these things that I have that you've got the $700,000 or $800,000 increase in insurance and $24,000 increase in cable and $6,800 in everything else. What's there?
What's there? Not a whole lot.
By the way, I met with Cheryl Pike today and went over various things. She still doesn't believe it,
Doesn't believe it. Tell her to watch the video.
That's where it all
Is she the one that
starts.
emailed us?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
She always watches
Those
the
three
video.
things,
Yeah, oh yeah, she was.
John,
Just
that
wants to
layout,
see
the
your
way you
face.
have it, that should be in the cover letter, big and clear.
Yeah. Thank you, all right.
And those 2 big items, we have no control over,
Exactly.
Right.
Yep,
no control.
exactly.
I mean, cable's contract increase is about 5% a year. It's in their contract with us, that you can raise it up to 5% a year. I mean, at best, we could get, if you look at other options on, getting that down, whether it comes from cable itself or from other
Didn't he say that
vendors.
we could, might be some negotiating on that
Yeah,
early,
You mean the next
after the
contract?
4th year, I
yeah,
think?
next year, yeah, next year.
We could talk about.
Yeah, I've reached out to somebody there and asked them if there was any negotiation, and he said in the last year of the contract, we're interested in talking to you, which is next year.
Okay, talking about a new.
Well, they'll
stuff.
probably want
Yeah.
a new, and they'll probably want a discount, and who knows?
Well, and
But
then there's all kinds of
Yeah,
changes,
sure.
technology,
Yeah.
that's what we're
That's the
preparing
big
for
thing.
now.
And I think a confirmation we're getting what we paid for in the first place, because I think we've seen a lot of changes that have been made in the cable stations and or the packages that we used to have, we don't have now. It may be something that's not worrisome to
Or
us.
people wanna
but-
switch to streaming, stay with Spectrum, say, but they just wanna stream, they don't want boxes. I mean, the options.
Yep, options.
So under the 24.5 that's on here for cable, that's the 5% increase you want to talk
Yeah.
about? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, I think we're done.
See you Monday.
Thank you for coming.